How's it going, everyone? Chris here, and welcome back to another Nintendo Direct leak discussion video. In today's video, we are actually going to be taking a look at some extremely interesting new stuff because obviously, guys, a little while ago and for the past week, we have been talking about the person who leaked that we would be getting a Nindies Direct this week and then a full-on Nintendo Direct next week. And guys, Nintendo officially announced today that we were going to be getting a Nindies Direct happening tomorrow, so yeah, it looks as though he was 100% correct, and we're actually going to be getting a Direct at some point next week. However, guys, as always, and I cannot stress this enough, just because this person was able to correctly predict that we would be getting an Indies Direct this week, that does not mean that we are going to be getting a General Direct next week for 100% sure. So make sure you guys take this with a grain of salt and realize that I'm talking about this just for fun. If you guys would like to hear why I talk, you can find a link to all of the original posts in the description right down below. And now, with all that out of the way, I have to tell you guys where this information came from. So guys, this information was sent in to me by one of my subscribers on my Twitter, so if you guys haven't already followed me there, you can find a link to my Twitter, as well as links to all of my social media presences, such as my Twitch and Patreon, in the description right down below, as well as the pinned comment. And now guys, with all of that out of the way, we have a bunch of stuff that we need to take a look at. First, we're going to go ahead and take a look at Sabi. Then we're going to go ahead and take a look at an article that comes from express.co.uk. And then after that, we're going to take a look at an article that comes from Inverse. So with all that being said, guys, let's just go ahead and take a look at all this new information. So guys, like I said, the first thing that we're going to go ahead and take a look at is the way that Sabi reacted to the announcement of the Indie Direct tomorrow. Now, right away, guys, for those of you who don't already remember, yeah, a while ago, Sabi was actually the only person to leak that we would be getting a Nindies Direct in March, and he was 100% correct. Now, alongside with this, he also said that we would be getting some new style of Paper Mario announced in the next Nintendo Direct, and it was going to return to form. Now, lots of people are saying that that could be a remake of either the original or Thousand Year Door, but either way, it stands right now that yes, Sabi is still credible. Now, alongside with this, guys, Sabi did get that cease and desist, so he's not going to be posting any more Nintendo secrets or anything else like that, but yeah, the last thing that Sabi tweeted about in terms of leaks was this Nindie Direct, so it's great to see him go off on a high note. Speaking of Sabi, guys, yep, he retweeted this because he wanted to show that he's still credible and has insider knowledge, so yeah, Sabi ended off very strong. Thank you very much, my friend. So now guys, let's go ahead and take a look at an article that comes from express.co.uk, which is titled, Nintendo Indie World Announcement Raises Hopes for March 2020 Nintendo Direct. Nintendo has confirmed an Indie World broadcast is taking place this week, which raises hopes of a March 2020 Nintendo Direct happening. It starts by saying Nintendo has today revealed that an Indie World broadcast will be airing tomorrow, which raises hopes of a March 2020 Nintendo Direct happening. Today, the House of Mario confirmed that a Nintendo Indie World broadcast will air on Tuesday, March 17th at 5 p.m. UK time. News was revealed on Nintendo's social accounts, with the Nintendo UK Twitter posting, an Indie World Showcase livestream is headed your way. Tune in on March 17th at 5 p.m. UK time to check out about 20 minutes of information on indie games coming to Switch. If you want to watch the Nintendo Indie World presentation as and when it happens, then click here to be directed to the page you will need to visit. While Nintendo Switch fans may have been hoping for a full fat Direct instead, the Nintendo Indie World announcement is in fact very good news. That's because rumors have previously claimed Nintendo would be holding an Indie Direct, followed by a proper Nintendo Direct in March. The news came courtesy of VentureBeat, who said the finishing touches were being put on the next Nintendo Direct as we speak. In a post online, they said, the next Nintendo Direct is in the works. The publisher hasn't confirmed the event yet, but it's in the final stages of putting the video presentation together. That's based on what we're hearing as well as some other indicators. Expect a Nintendo Direct soon. The company is penciling in one of its indie showcases, like the one it released around GDC 2019 for next week, likely March 18th. A full general Nintendo Direct will follow soon after, likely March 26th. So far, VentureBeat's predictions have been right, with an Indie Direct happening the week beginning Monday, March 16th. Since their sources correctly predicted this broadcast, it could lend weight to the claims VentureBeat made about a proper Direct happening next week. It has been almost 200 days since the last Nintendo Direct, which took place in September. That broadcast gave fans their first proper look at Animal Crossing New Horizons, revealed Terry Bogard for Smash, and announced Overwatch Switch. The long gap since the last Nintendo Direct and the Switch's release schedule for this year are the main reasons anticipation is so high. Ever since the Nintendo Switch launched last year, Nintendo each year has released plenty of exclusives for the hybrid console. However, this year the Switch release schedule is looking rather meager, with only a handful of confirmed exclusives for 2020. So now that we've gone over this entire article, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at the one that comes from Inverse.com. So guys, like I said, this article comes from Inverse.com and it is titled, Nintendo Direct Leaks Suggest Breath of the Wild 2 May Follow Indie World. Nintendo could host a full Direct presentation in late March, and it just might reveal more about Breath of the Wild 2. It starts by saying the longest Nintendo Direct drought ever continues without any major presentations for a variety of games coming to the Nintendo Switch, but that long wait might finally be coming to an end very soon if a believable rumor proves true. It all begins with a new Indie World presentation from Nintendo happening this week. Could it lead to more news about Zelda Breath of the Wild 2? Nintendo announced Monday morning via Twitter that a brand new Indie World presentation would be happening on Tuesday, March 17th. This confirms a VentureBeat report from March 10th claiming an Indie World presentation would happen this week, but that same report also claimed that a full Nintendo Direct would come this week after on March 26th. That original report predicted March 18th as the date of the Indie World presentation, but it still seems possible that this full prediction could be accurate. These Indie World presentations highlight upcoming Nintendo Switch games from smaller developers. Previously, ports for Cuphead and Ori and the Blind Forest, along with new games like Cadence of Hyrule and Axiom Verge 2, have been announced during Indie World events. Tuesday's presentation will last about 20 minutes and will likely contain some nice surprises, but they won't be for any major Nintendo releases. While that presentation is exciting on its own for fans of indie games, more casual Nintendo Switch players can rejoice due to the fact that it all but officially confirms that another Nintendo Direct was in the pipeline. The Pokemon and Animal Crossing focused Directs made it seem like Nintendo were now averse to doing large, multi-game presentations, but the announcement of this new Indie World showcase confirms that this is not the case. A Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC physical card sale and an ESRB rating of Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition also suggested a Direct was coming soon. The report from VentureBeat has already been proven partially correct, with the next Nintendo Direct is in the works, they wrote. The publisher hasn't confirmed the event yet, but it's in the final stages of putting the video presentation together. Both first and third-party games will allegedly be included in the presentation, which means new Nintendo games and games from other developers as well. Assuming this claim is correct, then Nintendo won't announce a Direct presentation until a day or two before, but the presentation will likely take place on March 26th, give or take a day, if it follows Nintendo's previous patterns. So, what games will be announced during the next Nintendo Direct? The most likely candidates for inclusion are titles or DLC that we already know about. There's the first new character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Fighter Pass 2, Pokemon Sword and Shield's Isle of Armor expansion, and more information and release date for Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. Then we've announced games that Metroid Prime 4 and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 that will most likely be shown off once more during the next Direct, especially if they're in the works as fall 2020 games intended to combat Sony and Microsoft's next-gen consoles. Games like Mario Kart 9 and a new Paper Mario are also possibilities, albeit long shots. The Direct will probably also feature titles that no one could see coming. VentureBeat's report didn't explicitly state what games will be shown off in the next Direct, but it did tease that Nintendo will be relying heavily on remasters and ports. Could we finally see ports of Wii U games like Pikmin 3 and Super Mario 3D World this year? The best case scenario is that we get an update on Breath of the Wild 2, but even the worst case scenario that explains Nintendo's plans for the rest of 2020 is still pretty great. However, guys, with all of that being said, make sure you guys let me know your thoughts about everything that we talked about in today's video in the comment section down below. Do you guys believe that we are actually going to be getting a Nintendo Direct next week? Because honestly, guys, at this point, I definitely do. Make sure you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments, and have a great rest of your day. Take care.